What was the last live show you guys saw before you realized that adulthood had set in?
I saw James Brown at the Mobile Civic Center way back many years ago when Mike and I were down here working. He didn't go that night, but there were four of us that went, and we were the only four white people in the place, and that was okay. We loved the music. The first half, we got to see James do the splits and sing all the great songs, and he took a little break, and somebody came out on stage and started telling white people jokes. And so at that point, the four of us decided to leave, which was probably a good thing.
And Richard, one of the reasons that I didn't go to that concert was because I thought that very thing would happen. Concert, I'd seen James about 2 years before that in the Foster Auditorium and saw a great show, and it was before I'm Black and I'm Proud started, which wasn't a bad thing, but it changed the way James Brown's music was done. So
that's right. And I never back in that day, I never thought anything about going to see James Brown in the Mobile Civic Center.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that was the last one that I remember.
Well, it's interesting that you bring that up because we were both there and had the possibility of going to that. But the one that I remember as the last concert I went to before adulthood, you and I were together on that one too. It was, we saw the Tropics, I think it was, in the Oporto Armory in Birmingham while we were in climbing school for Bell South.
We sure did.
And
that would have been in 1970, I think.
I think it was, yeah, because I signed on. I just passed my 54th anniversary of joining him. June 9th of 1969 was when I hired on. And
I hired on the first.
Yeah, there were four of us that hired at the same time, and they staggered everything, and I was the last one they hired just by flip of the coin or something.
Well, I think it was me, you, and Bill Rogers and Hannah, right?
I thought Bill Rogers was there longer and Hannah were longer than us. Although we did go to climbing school.
No, I had seniority on all those guys. I was the first one hired. I remember that.
Okay.
Remember Tommy Epps was the climbing school instructor, and gosh, the other guy's name that helped him, his name was Lucky. Ross Lucky, maybe?
Ross Lucky. Ross Lucky lectured us on getting caught at some woman's house where she was trying to have sex with us and make sure we didn't do it because everybody was a cocksucker if we did that. So.
That's right. And I guess some of us didn't listen. So,
but we had heard about the Tropics before, and I swear I thought they played at our senior prom. But I'd heard of them. They were a legendary bar band and fraternity band in that area about that time.
I think all over the Southeast, yeah.
Yeah, and they were doing great stuff. And they had a legendary Beatles medley, and we heard it that.
We heard it that night.
It was pretty special. They did Drive My Car and Got to Get You Into My Life, a couple of songs that nobody else could do that the Beatles did. So.
That's right. You're right.
But we were on our way to being employed by Bell South at that time because we were going to climbing school during the day, and we snuck off to the Oporto Armory that night and saw that band. And I think from that point forward, I was a grown-ass man.
Yeah. Actually, it was South Central Bell before then. It was then South Central Bell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. That's a good memory there.
Yep.
I really enjoyed that. I did a little history into the Oporto Armory. Looking today, it was kind of interesting that the Allman Brothers Band played there in 1970. And guess who was on the bill with them? There were two bands.
The Preachers.
Chair. Remember Chair?
No, I don't remember Chair.
I know you'll remember the next one, Buttermilk.
I do remember Buttermilk.
Our buddy Randy.
Yeah, Randy, and was Rick in Buttermilk at the time?
I'm not sure. It was Randy and Billy Townsend And
What-
Rodney, what's the guy's name? Rodney.
Rodney was the guitar player,
He was a guitar player.
and I don't remember. Seems like they had another drummer, and then Rick got involved with him for a short time. But
He probably did later on. Ricky played with a whole lot of people.
I know, still
Great
is.
drummer.
Yep.
Great drummer.
One of the few guys in our group that still is doing what we were doing when we were all 15 years old. Of course, he was 11 then. So
Yeah, he had to stand up and play the drums at the Elks Club.
no, he didn't. He stood up and played the drums at the Elks Club. His asshole singer could stand on his stool and do some of the songs we did. I only did one song, and then I'd give him his stool back so he could sit down.
I never knew the whole story about that. I just remember him standing up.
Our band couldn't afford 2 stools, so
How about that?
that's the way.
That's some good old memories right there.
Yeah.